Hello everybody, it's Techno here. Trading within a generation was pretty seamless for a while there, but before it was as clean as it was in Gen 4, there was a small era where it was really difficult. Generation 3's mainline games consist of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, FireRed, and LeafGreen. Each of these games have their own set of requirements to trade with each other, so it can get a little messy. To trade between two games, you need to have met the requirements in both games, and every game requires you to have at least 2 Pokemon in your party. First, let's start with Ruby and Sapphire. To trade from these games, all you need is a link cable. Besides the cable, that's all Ruby and Sapphire needs to trade. It's actually quite simple. Next up is Emerald version. To trade from these games, you could use either the link cable or the newly introduced wireless adapter. If you're attempting to trade from Emerald before having the National Pokedex, then you can only trade with Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald versions. Not only that, the trades can only be Pokemon that are naturally found in Hoenn, aka the regional dex. This makes it impossible to play through Emerald with a Bulbasaur, for example, as Bulbasaur are not in the Hoenn Pokedex at all. You also can't trade over any eggs to try and circumvent that pesky rule. Once you do have the National Pokedex, however, you are free to trade any Pokemon from any Gen 3 game, including eggs. Lastly, we have the very first Pokemon remakes, FireRed and LeafGreen. To trade from these games, you could use either a link cable or a wireless adapter. If you don't have the National Pokedex yet, you can only trade between another FireRed or LeafGreen copy, and only Pokemon that appear in Kanto's regional dex, much like how Emerald functioned, along with a no-egg rule. Generation 1 Pokemon that evolve in future gens can't evolve until you have the National Dex, like Golbat or Slowpoke holding a King's Rock. Here's the tricky part, however. If you're wanting to trade from FireRed and LeafGreen to a Hoenn game like Emerald or Ruby, then you're going to need to complete the Network Machine Upgrade side quest. To do this, there's a few prerequisites. Number 1, you need the National Pokedex. To get this, you need to have beaten the Pokemon League. If your trainer card has the Hall of Fame debut timestamp, then you're good there. You also need to capture at least 60 Pokemon in the Kanto regional dex. You can check this number by looking at your Pokedex or speaking to Professor Oak. Once you have, speak to Professor Oak and he will upgrade your Pokedex. Number 2, you need to upgrade Celio's network machine on one island. After you get your 7th badge, Bill will meet you on Cinnabar Island and invite you to the Sevii Islands to meet his friend. You can go with him immediately or later by visiting him in the Cinnabar Islands Pokemon Center. On one island, Celio will send you on a variety of quests to upgrade his machine. First, you'll need to go to 2 Island to deliver a meteorite, only to find out that you can't deliver it until you save the little girl from 3 Island. Once you save the little girl and deliver the meteorite, Celio will request you to bring him a ruby. You know, no big deal, just an expensive gemstone from an 11-year-old. You can find the ruby here on one island by visiting Mount Ember and seeing none other than Team Rocket blocking the door. After beating them, you'll find the ruby deep inside the cave. Bringing this to Celio, he'll now request you to bring him a sapphire. He will give you access to the remaining locations on the Sevii Islands: 4 Island, 5 Island, 6 Island, and 7 Island. First, you can go to 4 Island and visit the Icefall Cave. Grab the HM for Waterfall, and find the beautiful Lorelei fending off Team Rocket. Once you help her, visit 6 Island and make your way down to the dotted hole. Deep inside, you'll find the sapphire, but a scientist named Gideon will come in and snatch it right before you. To catch him, visit 5 Island and defeat him at the Rocket Warehouse. Fun fact, the admins here are the executives Archer and Ariana from Johto. Their teams even match, it's pretty cool. Either way, Gideon here will give you the sapphire once you beat him, and you can bring it back to Celio to finally complete the upgrade for the network machine. With all this finished, you're now eligible to trade any Pokemon or egg from a Gen 3 game. For example, what if you wanted to trade your Rayquaza from Emerald to FireRed? This is possible, only if you have the National Pokedex in Emerald, you have the National Pokedex in FireRed, you have upgraded Celio's network machine, and you have either 2 wireless adapters or 1 GBA link cable. And that's pretty much it, everybody. Like I said, a little ugly back in the day, but it's still somehow better than the situation we're in 20 years later. Weird how that works, isn't it? Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, Techno's out.